Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how I made this cute and easy Thanksgiving arrangement using these things that I got from Dollar Tree. So this scarecrow I got from Dollar Tree, the flowers were from Walmart, the can and the tray were also from the Dollar Tree. So here I'm just going to be arranging my flowers how I want them to look, and I'm going to add in my little scarecrow. This is how it looks now that I'm done. Okay, now I'm gonna start decorating my 2 cakes, and this little pan I used I did get from Michael's, and the tips I'll be using, I'll put them up on the screen. So here I'm just gonna be using the basket weave technique to get this effect on the pumpkin. This type of design is super easy to recreate. You just start off making one line and then do small lines across, and in those indents, that's where you're gonna make your next step. So now I'm gonna do another line straight down from where I left off, and then I'm gonna fill in those gaps, making my next basket weave. I really wanted this design on my pumpkin to put in my little tray for my little centerpiece for a little gathering I was getting together. So I did have to do this in a rush because I only had like an hour to get everything ready and get myself ready. But you can do this really more neatly if you have more time. And the good thing about this technique, you can also use any other tip. It could be the star tip, the 1M tip, but here I'm just using the fencing tip. And I'm just going to continue piping my design all around. And this was one of the first techniques I did learn when I first started decorating cakes. It's super easy because, as you can see, you can fix any flaw just by making the line a little bit bigger or shorter. Okay, now we're going to be starting our second cake. So this one I did cut it in half, and I'm putting in my border. I don't have no tip, I'm just using the little cobbler to make my piping so my filling doesn't spill out, and I am filling in that little circle. And this is just some crushed banana with pecans and a little bit of vanilla. And if you do this type of filling, it does need to be eaten that same day because the banana will turn black. But we're gonna eat this in a while, so I went ahead and just did this filling, and it tastes so good with just the basic yellow bread. I originally got inspired by my little pumpkin that I have here. I really liked the sweater design that it had, and I really wanted to make it on this cake. And I am using my can frosting. I'm using the hack that I have done before, and I will link that video down below so you can see the frosting recipe. I'll leave the number tip on the screen. And so now I'm just gonna start off on my little thin lines first. And here I'm just making little C's. A right C and then like a opposite C. And yes, of course, here you can make it really neat and more tighter, but I was on a time crunch, so I had to just work with the time that I had. And I'm just going to continue this design all around. It's very easy, just make little C's hugging each other. Okay, now that I'm done piping, we got that similar-ish design from the pumpkin. We're gonna start on our next lines. So here I'm just using the same tip that I used in the beginning, except the smaller version. And here you could always practice on your spatula before you start piping to make sure you have the tip facing the right way and you kind of know what you're gonna do before you actually pipe on the cake and make a mess. So here I'm just gonna be making these lines close to my other line. And then I'm gonna pipe my second line close to the other side, kind of making like a A. And in between those gaps, we're gonna be piping our next design. Okay, now I'm gonna be starting my next lines, and I will leave the tip I used on the screen. So here I'm just gonna be making like little X's, or you can make like long V's, just depending the type of design you want. So I started off making long V's and I didn't like how it looked. So I ended up making small little X's next to each other, as you will see in the next steps, to make that pattern pop out more. Like right here, how I'm making it more thicker and like bigger X's to have that design show what I'm doing. And here I am covering the gap to cover some of the bread, because I didn't want some of that little brown to show through. But of course, like always, you can make this design way more tighter and more neater if you have more time. Okay, now that I'm done, this is how it looks. I feel like it looks similar-ish to my pumpkin that I had. And on the tops, I didn't get to record, but I did just put in some white frosting and orange frosting, and I put in a little cupcake liner to cover my gap. And here, I really just wanted like a couple of sunflowers on top of my pumpkins to look like a random little patch. So I'm not making this neat at all, because I want it to look like just a bunch of sunflowers growing randomly on my pumpkin. And the tip I'm using, I'll put it on the screen as well. I did this for my orange pumpkin also, which I did not get to record. And with this same tip, I did go ahead and pipe some green leaves, and I threw a little bit of pecans in the center of my flowers to give it that sunflower effect. And I was going to put the brown stem on top, but I did drop them on the floor. I had made them out of fondant. Okay, and this is how they turned out, guys. I feel like I did pretty good for the fact that I had like about an hour to do everything. And like always, thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.